Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Troy Fullerton with Bilingual Barrier Busters, and tonight I want to talk about regional variations. Now, English is spoken over a very broad geographical area. We know, of course, it came from England, but even in England, there are different regional accents, and people, depending on where they came at different stages in history to different parts of the English speaking world and brought the accent that they spoke at the time to a different area, and wherever they came, there were already people who lived here. And so, depending on how much mixing was done and how much influence occurred, there were changes that occurred. Furthermore, wherever people went, there were food items, animals, weather patterns, different things that often were not an issue wherever they came from. And so different expressions are born. And then as time goes by, in different regions, different slang expressions are added and subtracted. That's just the way languages work, especially over a broad geographical area. Well, Spanish has the same thing. Spanish is spoken over a very broad geographical area. There was a lot more mixing between Europeans and indigenous people in the different parts of the Spanish-speaking world. There is a lot of variation in slang, a lot of variation in regional expressions, animals and such, but there is one area where the differences between Spanish and English accent patterns changes drastically. In English, what gives us different accents is largely, when we get past the vocabulary changes, a matter of how we pronounce our vowels. Vowels and diphthongs change from place to place, but consonants are relatively uniform. That's not the case with Spanish. With Spanish, the vowels are relatively uniform. There isn't a lot of variation in how vowels are pronounced from one region to another. But speed and intonation changes, and a lot of the consonants are what give away the accents. For example, in Spain, the letter C before an E or an I and the letter Z are lisped. In certain parts of the Spanish-speaking world, Puerto Rico, for example, the letter R sounds more like an L. Some parts of the Spanish-speaking world feature the N sound being used at the back of the mouth. In many Spanish-speaking countries, the letter S is dropped at the end of a lot of words. And so there are a lot of changes that are made that way. Plus, there are some older versions of the word you that are used in some places but not in others. So when we're going to use Spanish with people from different areas, we have to contend with that. But it's